If you're not familiar with North American Challenger League, we play a BO2. So 2 individual BO1s. They'll both factor into the standings. They do not affect one another, except that the same map can't be played twice. So we're starting on Nuke. That's where we will begin this fray. We'll see what we get for the second map, Vito, when we get to it. But this one is the be-all and end-all on Nuke. And over on that Marsborn side, it's been Wolfie in the IGLing shoes, and he's done quite a good job of it, actually. A player who's been in and out of EU and NA, back and forth across the ocean over his career, now picking up the mantle, having played with some very solid IGLs in the past, taking some of that knowledge in and trying to display that here. It's an interesting one to see as he continues to develop with it.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, during his time with Boss, even, he was, a lot of the players there, Cryptic in particular, was saying, like, Wolfie helped them play, I believe it was Vertigo and Ancient. So, you know, he was already contributing in that regard strategically to that squad, even though he wasn't the IGL. Obviously, it was Cryptic. So I think it's a natural progression for him throughout his career to enter this role.
Speaking about that getting in for a roster, right? I mean, we've all heard the various rumors, the idea of what they might be involved in, where they might be headed. It's a team that I think have actually positioned themselves pretty decently to make a run at Austin, right? They've been rising up the rankings, up the regional rankings for sure, getting some very solid wins and getting playoffs here in ESL Challenger League. Each of these matches could be critical, actually, for cementing your spot in those VRS rankings, for giving yourself the opportunity, really, to make a run at what's got to be the most exciting and appetizing, you know, event of the year for every North American organization.
No, absolutely. And I mean, like, talking about ECL, yeah, I mean, they beat what we consider to be one of the front runners to take everything, which is NRG. And they did that without having Vanity in the server. So I think that's in itself impressive and shows like the caliber of players that are available here to play for them. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Austin is on their mind trying to get to that major. I think that would be unbelievable if they would be able to achieve that. But I don't know, Mike. It feels like a far cry.
It is always tough, these establishment seasons. I mean, really, for both these rosters, where you're not playing with the same 5 in every event. You're kind of making some swaps, figuring things out. You've got a guy in Vanity who's coming back to Counter-Strike after a long competitive absence. You've just got a lot of factors going around where it'll be interesting to see where it can wind up. And meanwhile, for Marsborn, right, in addition to having a lot of familiar names in the likes of MOTM, Wolfie, Chop coming through, you've also got these young talents. We haven't even touched on them yet, but you've got Grizz, you've got Minus, both players who have had stints towards the upper end of ECL, but maybe haven't had the sustained opportunity to really show what they can do. And in this